All right. I said I wasn't going to do this, but you know what? Here I go again, dipping in other people's business. And yeah, I'm going to dip into this one. Uh, it's about the debate with Candace Owens and DJ Pickles. Okay. And first and foremost, before I get started with my video, I do want to declare that I am Team Candace. 1000%. But I knew that this was not a good idea. The money was not worth it. Lionel, I respect you, bro, but you're a little bit over the top with this because this debate was a disaster, a complete disaster. No offense, Candace, but if we're being honest, you held your own, but that's it. Pickles put you in a position to where it was very obvious, even though you were trying to hold your composure. I'm taking nothing away from you, the woman. You held your composure. You held your ground. But you did not reverse the strategy that Pickles used on you against him. Even though you were aware that Pickles was trying to get you to admit and or defend your positions, there was only one topic and one topic alone that you should have focused on. I don't care what Lionel's saying. I don't care what all of these people that are actually using you, okay, for their own gain. Candace, if anything were to happen to you, these people would disappear in thin air. They'd be gone. You wouldn't even see them no more, probably. Okay? These people are utilizing you and your notoriety to get themselves on the train. Okay? And they're on the train now. But I'm going to be honest with you where you made the mistake of not flipping the script on DJ Pickles and focusing on the lies. Listen to me good. That the members of this current TPUSA have been spinning. Okay? You could not argue the evidence. That's where Pickles had you. Okay? Because literally, even though we support you, even though we have the same ideas that you have, we know that Tyler Robinson didn't do this. In reality, we don't have the facts yet from a trier of fact or a standard of proof. We have nothing to point to other than some distorted cameras. But just like we say, you can't tell that's Tyler Robinson. You can't tell that a shot was taken. It's still speculative. But the one thing that you did have that was a fact that you should have stayed repeating over and over and over again is the lies. When when Pickles asked you, what facts do you have? I got plenty of facts that Erica Kirk, not that she had any involvement in what happened to Charlie, but that she's distinctly involved in putting all the blame, the JFK lone shooter, she is complicit in that. She is complicit in the cover-up. My opinion, believe that Erica Kirk knew. That's only my opinion, though, what was about to happen to Charlie. It was not said to her explicitly, but in this business, people read between the lines. It's a Masonic tactic. Speaking code, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. A look to a person can tell that this is about to go down after a conversation. So Erica Kirk fully knew what was going to happen to Charlie Kirk, in my opinion. But Candace, where you messed up was that you did not hone in on the lies. That was your evidence to support, because you cannot deny that Andrew Kovac, Butt Boy Blake Neff, and the rest of them are liars. They're proven liars. There's enough evidence. We could go back. You could go back, search the record. You can show how these people with the HD 4K footage, we know they're lying. And that's what you should have honed in on. You allowed this guy to ruffle your feathers and get into a position of defense to where you're saying, you don't tell me how to respond to a question. I would have wiped the floor. I'm not even no professional podcaster. I'm just a dumb trucker minding other people's business. But Candace, this was not your stellar performance. And no matter what these guys are saying, no matter how they're trying to bow down, Candace did this, no, it wasn't none of that. And I'm just going to be honest with you. It wasn't none of that. Pickles seemed to be in certain positions far more composed. But now you could see he wanted to get up and out there. He wanted to get out his body. But he couldn't. And he got very comfortable when he got in that line of questioning of, what is your facts? We're only spinning conjecture. And Lionel, I love you, brother, but you are doing a complete disservice. And anybody that gets on these channels and say, oh, Candace wiped the floor with Pickles, you're lying. You're not doing a favor to Candace. We need to be honest about the situation. And again, I'm Team Candace. I don't know this guy Pickles no more than y'all did. But you knew what he was sent there for. And the strong point, the only strong point that you had to really argue with and back him up in the corner is to question him. Did members of TPUSA lie? Look how Joe Rogan got him. He said, well, the sparklers and this, that, and the other, yeah, well, I would admit that wasn't the best thing to do. That's how you were supposed to slaughter this guy. He already went in pinning down the fact that you literally, regardless of the sources, regardless of any of that, what backs him up is the record. That's not even his opinion. He's going by something that's being established by the charging documents. You have nothing from a documentary standpoint of view, from an evidentiary standpoint of view. Only thing we have is our opinion based on the anomalies of the case. What we see, like you say, with our own eyes. That's true. But that doesn't stand up in court. So he's sitting here treating it like a court theater, and you're treating it as if you're being attacked, things aren't going the right way, whatever the case is. But this was not what people are making it out to be. I think the best way you would have performed was to hone in on the lies. Erica Kirk has told that Blake Neff has told, what the preachers have told. You should have stayed on the Sean Ryan interview with the security. That's where you should have went with the anomalies, okay? And then asked him, does this appear strange to you? I want to know your opinion on the story that Charlie security guy, and his name escapes me right now, but you know what I'm talking about, the one who jumped on top of Charlie and cut the shirt off. You know, you should have honed in on that, but you constantly let Pickles get you off your square. You're very smart. You're very bright. I support what you're doing. I believe what you're doing. But all of these people that's getting up here right now talking about Candace mopped the flow, this was not about wins and losses. Who won the debate? This was about who made the most sense. Whoever talked the best, that wasn't what this was about. We, the outside public, were watching to see who made the most sense. To me, I'll just put it like this. On the scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 4.5, 5 in terms of debate, because this was not a debate. This was a bunch of BS, you know. So anybody out there, man, I know I'm not, popular or whatever. I don't care. I'm a truck driver, but I like to dip into people's business. So this is me dipping into people's business. Now I'm going to finish watching Lionel with his bullshit, stroking Candace's ego, because God knows, I know why, Lionel. I know why. But God bless. But Candace, I love you. No offense, sister. Hey, you held your ground, but this, you could have did much better by pointing out the lies from TPUSA. And I would have honed in on that, and that would have been a wrap. I would have wasted time on getting him to admit those lies. Peace out.